It's all over.
What's up with it? What's cracking? What's popping? This is All Over Radio, and you are tuned into another episode. I am your host with the most loud mouth, West Coast crafted, down south drafted. Right on the side of me, I got B. Clark in the house.
What's that now?
That's what's up. Right across, as usual, on the ones and twos, we got Caution 700.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
It's all over.
And we back at it again.
Oh my gosh, back at it again.
Located in the D-Town, Texas player on the north side of that thing. Triple D is what they call it, the city on the come up. Our mission is to give you the topics you want and the 411 you need. This show is curated, created by Black Kings and for our queens and for anyone who rocks with black culture and matters that concern black people. As always, indeed, as always, we are going to discuss current events, important political matters that pertain to black people, and we're going to go over things that happen in the national black community. Now that you got the rundown, we want to first, though, give a little shout out to our apparel sponsor today.
Lit. Shout out to my guy.
Yes.
Mike Mitch, man.
Shout out to Black Market Apparel. They hooked us up with the nice Cali Love Fitteds. This is a collaborative from California and Texas. They're founded in 2013. Black Market is a movement based in Dallas, full-service entertainment company. It's home to a diverse group of talented and gifted musicians, visual artists, management, athletes, models, and music producers. The sole purpose behind Black Market Movement is to provide equal opportunities, consultation, charitable events, and services to the artists and communities it represents. You can check them out at themarket.com. And if you want to get the apparel that we got here, we rocking. You see the BMM here, and we got these Cali Love joints. The family hooked me up with a Raiders kind of a platinum. Caution 700s rocking the traditional Cali Love white joint. And we're going to take flight on this show. But check out Black Market. Thank you, family, for giving us the apparel.
Most definitely.
Much appreciated. We want to support black businesses, support black business owners, and rock fly merch and threads when we get it. So without further ado, let's hop into that socially influenced my man B. Clark.
Yes, get into it.
Yes, indeed. We will get right into it. This is Socially Influenced for y'all, and y'all please pay attention. Today I got a pretty touching topic. I think y'all heard about this. First and foremost, before I get into that, I want y'all to join the conversation with me. So anytime y'all feel like y'all have y'all 2 cents y'all want to put in on this conversation, please do it. Jump in the comments.
Yes.
Join the conversation. Say what you got to say, because we will respond back.
Don't be silent. Y'all got something to say on everything else on social media.
Right.
Don't be square. Say what you got to say. But anyway, this goes. The young man out of Mount Bellevue, Texas, known as Caden Bradford. He was the young black male that was kicked out of school for having his dreadlocks. They wanted to cut his dreadlocks.
I don't think I heard this story.
Yeah, this was he was punished over the length of his dreadlocks, and they kicked him out of school or suspended him or. What was this, the end of last year? Yeah, towards the last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, this was they just made a judgment on that. Yeah.
Oh,
that's
okay,
what
I
I'm
see.
getting to. My bad. I was trying to get.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, so pretty much they kicked him out of school for the length of his dreadlocks, trying to say that it was past his shirt collar, the collar on his shirt. But their rule is it must be neck length opposed to them. So today, or not today, within the last couple of days, the U.S. District Court Judge George C. Hanks Jr. issued a preliminary injunction this week that requires the Barboursville Independent School District to let the young man, Caden Bradford, attend school and participate in extracurricular activities going forward.
Yeah, good.
So I know y'all are y'all have your own distinct style. Were y'all ever harassed about things y'all ever wore, or however y'all hair, and how do y'all cater y'all kids in their style? Like,
No, I've never really. I mean, in school there was like rules for us being in Compton. Like you couldn't wear, I couldn't take my shoestrings out and put in a fat pair of blue shoestrings. They make you take them out, or we had to wear uniforms to school in middle school and elementary. So that kind of limited what you could wear to school in general. So if I came to school dressed out of uniform, he was out of there. Really, it was really just mainly like police and shit like that. Like, like I said, if they caught you with the shoestrings, they make you take them out. Or if you got a rag on, you liable to get pulled over. Or, you know what I'm saying? Somebody will fuck with you on that level. But other than that, no, not really. Not
what about your hair though?
Nah, I never had any issues with that.
Mostly kept the fade.
Yeah,
kept the fade low.
The most extreme shit I've ever done is like when I grow my hair out and it's kind of like the sponge. But even there, I get a haircut weekly, so I'm not one of those niggas that just.
So you on the fade crew. Yeah. But you notice that like I feel like 70%, 80% of black men have bald fades.
Yeah.
Isn't that odd to y'all? Like, I feel like we are the only race of people in the nation that cuts their hair low with a 0 or a 1 on the razor. Okay, that to me is a problem. Okay, and I think about it. How many white boys do you see with their heads shaved like with a 0 or a 1? They all have medium to shoulder length hair, right?
Some of them, yeah.
I would say, how many
I
do you
see more with long hair than I do with short hair.
And that's, I guess, what I'm saying. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. But like, you see, if we grow our hair long, it tends to be somewhat of an issue. I know personally, I experienced this living for a few years. My parents, they were trying to grind and progress, and they moved us from Cali to Indiana. And there was a lot of weird stuff that I got, living in Indiana, people touching my hair and stuff, asking me how come it don't move, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I go down to the into Naptown to like the black barbershops, and I get my hair cut, and back in the I'm dating myself, man, you know what I'm saying? Back in the mid 90s, right? You know what I'm saying? Like cats would put all kind of designs and like etches in the back of their head, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was trying to be fly, and I put my soccer number, like, because I play soccer, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I was already a minority. I'm now a minority among minorities playing soccer. But I wanted to be fly, so I put, you know what I'm saying, like a nice part design in my hair. And then I was like, yeah, man, hook me up with my number on the back, you know what I'm saying? Like, so he put number 9 on the back of my head, you know what I'm saying? And like I had people like, hey number 9, and I got super militant. I was like, that's not my slave number. I was super salty. I was mad, you know what I'm saying? But like, the white kids was like, they didn't understand black hairstyles and black culture, so it was always like a point of like ridicule or really just simple ignorance, just not understanding like why do you put this box fade? Like, why do you have this zigzag line in your hair? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I experienced a lot of ignorance from that standpoint, you know what I'm saying, in Indiana. But I think there is something to say about, the way that our hairstyles are kind of scrutinized.
Yeah. Going with that, do you dress, how do I put this in? And I was trying to think of the way to say it on the way here, but do you dress to the atmosphere or to the environment? Like, do you know you're going into a business casual event, and do you? Now, I'm not saying you go in there baggy shorts and anything like that, but are you more prone to dress up full dress casual, or are you business to the T? Like, how do you go about situations like that?
I'm pretty well. Like, I even now, like, it's business casual for me on a regular at work, right? But, sometimes I'll throw the tie and the slacks on, just, tie Tuesdays. Let's take it up a notch. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, let me ask you, being that, do you feel you have to go the extra mile to look professional, being a black man, knowing that we have that connotation going with us, that we are really not supposed to be in that field, if that makes sense?
Nah.
You don't think so?
Nah.
You don't think you have to go like a tie, throw a suit jacket on, or?
Nah, man, I done been in some of the most prestigious monthly business reviews, in Fortune 500 companies that you could think of, and I go in dressed like them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't.
How do they dress though?
Yeah.
Collar, shirt, slacks. But I work in a corporate environment though, so that's the expectation for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think if it was more of an environment to where, I don't know what situation where I would go into a work environment and not be dressed professionally. I've never. Yeah. I just know in my mind, if I'm going to work, then I'm gonna dress how I need to dress at work. How I dress outside of work, though, no. You just gonna have to get it how you live with me outside of work. But
yeah. Okay, I got a question for you then. How does one define what is professional and what's not? Who sets that standard?
That's a good question. We'd have to go back to the beginning of corporate America and who said you had to tuck your shirt in, or I don't really know. I just, in all my life, I just known if there's an interview, if I'm working in an office and they say it's business casual, so then they give you a list of the things that are business casual. You can wear a button down shirt or you can wear a collar polo shirt. What I'm gonna do is, now mind you, I may not have on a regular polo though. I may come in here with some swag on mine. You know what I'm saying? It may be different, but I'm still within the guidelines of what y'all have here. So I'm not just, straight laced all the way. I still throw my own little. It's just a matter of like I've been in that environment so much. I'm just kind of trained to it. That's a good question though. Like who determined this was business casual? You know
that's what I'm saying.
You have an opinion on that? Who you think
I mean, okay, so I am not a fan of suits or slacks or dress shoes. They're extremely uncomfortable, okay? And they don't make you smarter. Okay, so, I think a lot of people are so gung-ho about the appearance, right? And it's like the idea that, okay, you dress for success. Yeah, don't come anywhere raggedy, you know what I'm saying? Funky, armpits stinking, breath stinking. But, I mean, I've seen some people, head to toe, clean as a whistle, but have the worst integrity in the world. So, but yet people are like, oh, they're so professional because their suit is clean. So for me, it's like...
but if you don't set limitations, then you open yourself up to what the world brings in. And so, like, if you didn't have a dress code for your job, right? Think about how people would come to work. Like, think about that for a second. Right now, even in my environment, we have to send... Like, I literally... And I hope she never sees this. But I literally had to send somebody home the other day because she came to work with tights and a T-shirt on a weekday. And I'm like, come on. Like, what are you doing in here?
But with the men mad.
That's what it boils down to.
No, you know what I'm saying? But somebody saw her. I guess somebody from HR seen her and they rung the bell like, she gotta go. Now, mind you, I didn't been in positions, and that's a very good point. I've been in the workplace, and you maybe have women that have a finer figure than others, and if they wear something tighter or a little bit more fitting, then they get judged differently. What I've never seen, and this is just me being honest, no race. I'm not a racist. Y'all all know me. I've never seen a white woman get in trouble for a dress code. But I have had individuals on my team that were younger African American females that dress normal. I mean, a normal everyday dress that you wear to work. It just looks different on this sister because of how she's built. And they're like, hey, she has to go home. And I'm like, well, I'm not making that determination because I feel like that gray area, I don't want to step my toe over there. I'm not touching that. But I'm just like, damn, it's crazy to see that. You'll see two individuals with the same thing on. Like I've seen white ladies that work with tights on with maybe the Starbucks sweater on over it, and it's fine, but y'all made me send this young black lady home. So I definitely think it's something to that, man. I do.
That's crazy. I've seen that happen before. A white lady actually get in trouble for what she wore, the way she was built. But like, cause she was more shapely,
right? So
she wasn't built like the typical white woman. So, but then the funny thing about it though is that the whistleblower got in trouble for that same shit too.
For real? So the person that snitched got in trouble for this?
Exactly. So,
instant karma.
Shut your mouth.
For real, stop snitching.
But I don't want to lose sight of the hair conversation,
right?
Because I think that I think we're really having two different discussions.
We are. It is.
You see what I'm saying? Because the clothing and attire in a business environment is one thing.
Totally different thing.
But how a person's hair grows naturally.
Isn't there a law in New York about that where they said that a person can't be discriminated against in the workplace if they have like dreadlocks or for their hair? It was something that was just passed in New York not too long ago for that same thing because somebody in New York lost their job for the same issue. And I think they just passed, like literally, if anybody out there, if you're in the comments, shout out and let me know and tell me if I'm right or wrong. But I did just see something get passed where individuals cannot be discriminated against because of their hair. You know what I'm saying?
Salute that.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask y'all this: do y'all think? Okay, the topic at hand, dreadlocks. Do y'all think that gives you a negative vibe?
I think in American society it does.
Okay, there you go. That's what I mean.
I think it does, right? Like there's. I mean, do you remember the booster that rode in from what was it, Penn State? Do you remember that? Okay, so there was a long time, donator, booster member of Penn State, and one of the running backs on the team, had dreadlocks. Super intelligent guy, great student athlete, no trouble. He writes a letter into Penn State pretty much deriding, saying, don't you know that looks ugly?
Wow.
It looks terrible. Didn't your mother or your teammates tell you not to go out of the house looking like that?
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like
Damn.
you're not representing Penn State. I'm watching the television and I see my school, and here I see this nasty hairstyle. So it was like a big donor, you know what I'm saying? And it was a big deal. You have to look that up too, y'all. If you're in the comments. comments. You know, let us know when that happened. But yeah, that was an issue with the dreadlocks, and I think that is along the same lines. Like, dreadlocks are a natural hairstyle that we, with our hair texture, are able to achieve.
Yes.
Okay. And even, you know, in the 70s, like, afros was a revolutionary statement, right? A resistance statement to wear the afro big in defiance of American societal cultural norms of us keeping our hair to a certain length. And anytime we grow our hair out, we start to get looks of either curiosity or judgment. I don't think it's always judgment. I think it's sometimes just like, wow, look at your hair.
Nobody ever seen it up close. You see it on TV or something.
That happened to me at a job, though, man. Like, I got tired of one day. I woke up, I was like, you know what? Why do I have to wear my hair like ball fade all the time? I'm tired of this, getting a haircut. I'm gonna grow it out. And I mean, literally within 2 weeks of me growing out my hair, people started noticing. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't the black folks. It was the white people at the job were like, "Oh, your hair." And I said, "Yeah, you know, I'm growing it out." You know, and our hair does grow. It doesn't just stay this short the entire time.
What's crazy is I just did the opposite of that. Well, listen, this is how I operate. I went, and this is directly going into what we're talking about because it just hit me as we were talking. But the place that I work now, remember, I had started growing my hair a while ago. So, but when I found out I had this interview to this new place, you know, different type of opportunity. And they was like, come in for the interview. Mind you, I knew who I was interviewing with. I known this guy for years. It wasn't nothing new, but I still was like, I'm not going in here with this hair on my head like this for the first impression. So I cut my hair off. You know what I'm saying? Same way it is now. So as low as it is now. And then, like, once I got the job, I let it grow back out. And so, but people got used to seeing me like that, right? And so as all this time passed, I'm there for a couple years. I cut my hair here recently again. And they're like, damn, why you cut your hair? You look so different. This blah, 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 blah. And it was like, no, this is how I started. Y'all don't remember this. It was just crazy to see that they had, you know, the image of me was embedded in their head already. And so it's like, you know, I don't know if people take it differently, but I definitely think hair on your head is like, if it stands tall or if it's wide, it's like they get intimidated or they feel like you're a different kind of person or something. I don't know what they feel like it means. Maybe it's the black power thing or the old, you know, the Panthers with the froze.
Power,
our hair defies gravity. It grows up.
You know what I'm saying? I can't help that.
One last question before I switch topics. How do y'all feel about other races having dreadlocks? I don't know if y'all seen this. I know y'all seen the white people, the white boys, the white ladies with dreadlocks. I've even seen an Asian, a couple Asians, notably Jeremy Lin. They used to play for the Nets, had dreadlocks. So.
Well, did he have braids or dreadlocks?
No, it was dreadlocks. It was dreadlocks.
Was it?
I don't know if it was all his hair. I can't be up on the man joint like that.
He had like some braided joints attached to his.
And then you could tell it was like matted up though. So
okay.
It didn't look like a braid. You know, so other races having dreads.
I mean, for me personally, I guess it depends on the intent and what you're trying to accomplish. So, for example, like Brian Head Welch from Korn, the rock group Korn.
He always had them,
bro. He's been rocking, and he's from Bakersfield. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, the area he's from, growing up, what he listened to, him and Fieldy and all them cats, like those are different kind of white boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest, they. So
do they get a pass then for the dreads?
I mean, it doesn't. I guess in general, it doesn't bother me. Like when I see Tekashi with his like weave extensions, that's a little obnoxious. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I also knew another recording artist named Jason Castro, who's on American Idol. He had dreads for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So like, I guess it really depends upon the individual and does it have the cultural appropriation feel to it? You know, or does it just feel like this is what this person wanted to do because they admired the hairstyle and they wanted to rock it and they were an eclectic musician? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, is it my turn?
Yeah, go ahead. For it.
Please, white folks crazy.
Don't you put no fucking dreadlocks in your head. What is wrong with y'all? No, I don't want to see no dreadlocks. I don't want to see no cornrows. I'm apprehensive about the individual braids. Don't do it. Like, it's not for y'all. Like, it is not.
Okay.
Leave that to those that do it. Listen, what do they do when they see black women that try to straighten their hair out? Why are they trying to have their hair like us? We perm in our hair to get it like y'all's, and they have no respect for us doing it. But that's the way they expect us to look when we show up for jobs and shit, right? They expect you to have that same, but our shit don't work like that. So they in turn do what they always do, which is appropriate our culture and flip it, and then they'll do some shit and be like, oh, Kim Kardashian with the new trend, and she got some fucking cornrows. No, leave it alone. Right, okay. Like, leave it alone.
So are we gonna come down with the hammer on black women that straighten their hair and get straight perms, and they look like out here just long straight hair?
Listen,
not natural at all?
If you're going to ask me, like, you know, my preference would be for my woman to be natural. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my preference. I'm not saying whether it's wrong or right.
Yeah.
I know that individuals have certain hair needs, right?
Yeah.
So everybody's, you know, repertoire don't work for everybody.
Everybody
like, I
ain't
can't,
able.
you know, I can't live my life like you. You may be able to have a good look with the natural look. So I'm not against it completely. All I'm saying is, white folks with dreads don't look right. It don't look. Give me stand.
Hispanics with dreads.
I ain't never seen it. They don't appropriate our culture like that. They're a part of it. We accept it. No, I feel like when white people get dreads, like they making fun of us. Like I feel like it's a joke or something. Come on, think about this right now.
Okay.
How many white people do you know personally that you've ever seen with dreads?
I've seen quite a few.
But that you've known.
That I've known.
Oh, okay. I've known a couple personally.
Okay, nah.
And you didn't call them on it?
Not
I did,
for me.
well, no, and I just mentioned a couple that I know. You know, what I'm
I'd
saying?
just be like, hold on,
Oh, you talking
what's
like,
happening?
personally know that you can say what's up and call like that?
I
That's what you
mean, yeah. I mean, well, you know, obviously y'all know I've worked on projects, and so like
Yeah.
I know Brian Welch. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So and again, like he's older than us, and he's had dreads
forever.
for now a few decades now.
Yeah.
And
Are
I
they
never.
like real dreads?
Yeah, he got. I
Okay.
mean, and his bro are like long down to like his.
When Corn came out, his shit was already long.
Yeah,
as
it was
hell, so,
already long. So
yeah.
he been rocking that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I never got any vibe around him that was like a culturally appropriating vibe. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, the rock cats. You know what I'm saying? Like he's like I said, he's from Bakersfield,
That's a
skateboard,
different- I give you
grungy
that.
kind of. That's why I was saying, man.
I give
Like,
you that.
because being in Cali, you encounter a lot of like white boy skater types. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah.
And that culture is very different. So like they're just doing their own thing. So yeah, if I would agree with you, if I saw like a white boy in the burbs and he came out,
Right,
you know
that's
what I'm
more
saying?
so what I'm
Like,
speaking of.
and he had dreads,
Yeah.
I would I'd be like, what are you doing? But there's certain types of depending on where you live in the
Do you
country.
feel like they get the same kind of treatment for having dreads as we do? Like if they walked into a job and you was in a job and y'all both had Marley dreads, which one of y'all think is gonna walk out of there with it?
I think they would look at them
Or do
differently
you-
too.
Do you think that evens the score a little
it
bit?
does even a score. It does because it's like, why are you trying to look like that?
Oh shit!
Hey, y'all jump in the comments though. Like if y'all,
Right,
got,
yeah,
y'all,
give us
if
your
y'all
2 cents. What
what do
y'all
y'all
feel
think about white folks
If
wearing
you're-
dreads?
Especially if you're a white person wearing dreads.
Yes,
I want to talk to you.
We want to hear what you think. Give us your thoughts, please. Absolutely.
Look like old girl on what was that? Hustling Flow.
Oh,
Old girl with
yeah.
the white girl with
I
the
forget
braids,
the
the
damn
one of his
name.
chicks. Yeah, you gonna look like that?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But anyway, well, that is it for Socially Influenced, and I appreciate y'all's 2 cents. And one more time, if y'all got something to say about white folks with dreads, other ethnic groups with dreads, dreads period, and the young man that got accepted back into school about his dreadlocks. So
Right.
please jump in the comments, give us your 2 cents. And now I'm going to kick it to my boy Loudmouth as politics as usual.
Politics as usual.
What's up? This is Politics as Usual. We are going to do a little continuation from last episode. We touched on the service a little bit, gentlemen, but I thought it would be good for us to kind of go a bit deeper into the teachings of Marcus Garvey and discuss the Back to Africa movement that originated in the early 1900s. And the current year of return being championed by the president of Ghana, President Addo. And you may have seen a lot of celebrities in the latter part of 2019 before all this COVID foolishness hit in the beginning part of this year that were going back to Ghana, okay?
Yeah, I
and
did see a lot of that.
yeah, from a tourist standpoint and taking videos and capturing those moments. And I think it's important because, you know, what I want to ask is there some legitimacy behind what the president of Ghana and the Ministry of Tourism is trying to accomplish? And I'm going to talk about their goals here in a little bit. But I want to go back to Marcus Garvey and talk about the Back to Africa movement and discuss whether he was crazy. Was it just a kind of an idea that was too grandiose in nature for us to accomplish the goal? And get our thoughts. But in the early 20th century, Marcus Garvey and his movement, the Universal Negro Improvement Association, founded in his native Jamaica in 1914, boosted emigration sentiment. 3 years later, Garvey immigrated to New York and set up a headquarters in Harlem. And just for those that may have not heard that word, emigration is not immigration, okay? So emigration is the act of leaving a resident country or a place of residence with the intent to settle elsewhere, okay? So that's emigration, okay? Though he was scorned by the black, middle, and professional classes, his Back to Africa mantra and charismatic leadership rallied many African Americans. The UNIA became the largest mass movement in African American history and attracted followers throughout the Caribbean, Africa, South America, and Great Britain. Garvey's version of black nationalism argued that African Americans' quest for social equality was a delusion. They were fated to be a permanent minority who could never assimilate because white Americans would never let them. African Americans, therefore, could not improve their condition or gain autonomy in the United States. Only in Africa was self-emancipation possible. Okay? So, what I want to discuss is the possibility of emigration. How realistic is it to emigrate to the African continent? What are your thoughts, gentlemen? How realistic is that?
I mean, it's possible.
Yeah.
Now, whether I think the biggest issue is it's naturally going to be a cultural adjustment for anybody, right? But if you are serious about the things you say, if your sentiment about America is that if you're one of them individuals that just hate it here, don't want to be here, and you're looking for a way out, and this seems to make sense to you, I would hope that one did their research to, think this all the way through. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, if it made sense and we were able to live the same way we live here, I would be all for it. My thing is the fear of the unknown, because I don't know enough about each specific
country. Yeah.
Right. So that would be my only thing. I would have to do a lot of research. I would have to go visit first. All of those things. But I definitely wouldn't be opposed to it. I think at a certain point in time, and kind of going back to what you've kind of preached over and over again, which is America is not going to be the greatest for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? At some point, we're going to, see a collapse that is going to be pretty catastrophic because it's on the horizon already.
It looks that way, doesn't it?
Right. So what I'm thinking is, where else is it for somebody like us to go? Are we going to go to another country where we're going to be treated the same way? Or are we going to finally give it a chance and go find out where we really from and who our people really are and things like that? Like, I'm okay with that. So
yeah.
What about you, Clark?
In my opinion, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's kind of I worked with a guy. He was from Africa. He kind of fucked it up for me. He was like, because this refers back to the belly conversation. Nas was sincere was like, man, I'm gonna go back to Africa. So I mean, I thought about that. Like, damn, would I go back? Until I talked to my man at work. He's from Africa. He was like, man, fuck that place. I don't want to go back there. I'm like, why not? And he just like, man, it's no good. And I'm just like, what's wrong with it? It's got to be better than the shit you're dealing with now. And he was like, nah, not at all. The fucked up perception about Africa is that all you see is the slums. But even when you go to the good part of town, it's still fucked up out there. So it doesn't make it no better. So it's no better living, even though he really knows how it's going on out there. That he could be like back home with his family because he's been out here for I think 20, 30 years almost. And he says he doesn't have no desire to go back. He wants to stay out here in America, like to go visit cousins, family like that.
That's my concern because they try to get over here so hard. Like the ones that get over here, they fight to get over here for a reason. Yeah. I just want to know what it is that those people are running from. Like, where are y'all from and what's going on there?
In all fairness, right? Like, one thing I think is the issue is that when we even talk about Africa, we don't realize that there are an insurmountable amount of countries. All the African it's a continent. Like, we talk about it like it's a country.
Like it's one place.
Like it's one place.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't know where that guy came from. Now, everyone around the world wants to come to America. Right. Okay, let's just be honest. Because of the ease of living, okay, the ability to generate revenue, the comfortability, the pleasures that one can acquire, okay, material possessions, and that is what makes America attractive. And so those things are undeniable, right? But the question that I have is, what happens when those luxuries are gone, right? Because already right now, look at the unemployment rates because of COVID. Okay, the half of our economy seems to be built off non-essential items, basically, because we built our economy off of entertainment and pleasure. Right. So when we only can do the bare essentials, then the quality of life then does it not decrease, right? So then we're here. We are the most stressed out nation in the world. We have the highest rate of depression. We have the highest rate of suicide other than Japan, I think. Okay, we have the highest rate of health issues, obesity, diabetes, mental health issues, okay? So our happy index, even like they have a happy index that they have you heard about the happy index? It's super low. So we have all these things in America, these comforts, but why are we not happy? Right. Why is there so many issues? Because perhaps maybe materials are not all that makes an individual content with life.
Oh, definitely not.
Okay,
definitely.
so now, what countries will we consider to go to, if any? I think that's probably the next question. And so what I think is interesting is, like you mentioned, where is that guy from? Who knows? But there are a few countries that probably would be at the top of the list. If you were to guess, what would you say those countries would be?
In Africa?
Yeah. Clark, what do you think?
Oh, in Africa?
Yeah.
Shit.
Like what countries would you think would be the most similar in terms of economic, stability, maybe peace?
Nigeria?
I don't have any knowledge.
Nigeria can't keep the lights on.
Africa.
I threw that out.
Power shortages.
I don't have any knowledge on the cities of Africa. So
the cities, come on, Clark.
The countries of Africa. We can see. There you go.
Yeah, shout out to Clark.
So there you
Them
go.
cities in Africa.
I'm not even going front. I don't have any knowledge. So.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about some popular destinations. And, everyone listening to us, if you've got some other ones, if you're from Africa or if you've been, let us know some places that you've been to that you've enjoyed. But popular destinations that people go to, typically in West Africa, Ghana, Liberia. You mentioned Nigeria. Nigeria is one of the Lagos is one of the largest cities in the world, but they can't keep the power on. There's a lot of corruption there, but there's a lot of entertainment, and there's also a lot of industry that's happening there. So I don't know if I'd want to live in Nigeria, but Ghana to me sounds appealing. South Africa obviously is the closest to American or European society, because obviously it was taken over by the Dutch. So there's a lot of racism there. So I don't know if I'd want to go there. Okay, because you end up that's where Mandela is from. You experience the same kind of racism you do here, so that makes no sense for me to leave here and go there and still be discriminated against. And then Kenya on the east side of things, East Africa are kind of the ones that talk about. So the percentage of people that would go, I'm curious to know. I don't know how many would be there, but a lot of what keeps people in the States, I think, is those stereotypes. What are some of those stereotypes that y'all have heard about Africa? Clark, you mentioned a few.
The economy probably. They always make it seem like it's dirt roads and
huts and tigers like and wild animals running around and fucked up cars.
Those type of things is what I always see.
Yeah, but my man said when you get to the city, like, you see all the things America has, but it's just the people there are just fucked up.
I saw a video yesterday that was somebody driving around somewhere in Africa, and it looked like somewhere in your most suburban neighborhood in America. So I was like, well, this must be the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is something else that they don't show all the time.
Yeah, and that's what, Akon, and I think I may have just in our personal conversation talked about this a little bit, but Akon is a huge champion, for this. And one of the things that he says is that what the images that we see of Africa in America are not accurate. Right. Like we see zebras and hyenas in the savannah and people in loincloths. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that may have been Africa like hundreds of years ago. Okay, but no, people got cell phones. In fact, in Ghana, they have one of the best internet networks in the world because they tap into the British network. Okay, so you have a lot of e-commerce and things happening from a technology standpoint happening in Ghana. So I want to talk a little bit about Ghana specifically in the year of return. Okay, and if y'all are not familiar with this was pretty cool. This was in 2019 primarily. Okay, this was done by the Ghanaian president. In the year of return, Ghana 2019 is a major landmark spiritual and birthright journey, inviting the global African family home and abroad to mark 400 years of the arrival of the first enslaved Africans in Jamestown, Virginia. The arrival of enslaved Africans marked a sordid and sad period when our kin were forcefully taken away from Africa into years of deprivation, humiliation, and torture. August 2019 marks 400 years since enslaved Africans arrived in the United States. The year of return, Ghana 2019, celebrates the cumulative resilience of all the victims of the transatlantic slave trade who were scattered and displaced throughout the world in North America, South America, the Caribbean, Europe, and Asia. Okay, so this is what the year of return is about, and essentially he's trying to get people to come back, mainly middle class African Americans that can afford the ability to go over and engage in tourism. And this was done by initiative by the GTA, the Ghana Tourism Authority, under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, and is a collaboration with the Diaspora Affairs at the Office of the President of Ghana. And one of the main goals of the Year of Return campaign is to position Ghana as a key travel destination for African Americans and the African diaspora. In 2019, the events planned throughout the year will serve as a launch pad for a consistent boost in tourism for Ghana in the near and distant years. Beyond tourism, though, this initiative supports one of the president's key developmental agendas in Ghana, beyond aid. We know that tourism can be a leading indicator to business and investment. Okay, so what do y'all think about this idea of us going back and exploring, right? Because you mentioned that, just the idea of, okay, I'm going to need to do some reconnaissance, do some research. Is this legitimate? Is it reasonable? What's the lifestyle like over there? And you're right, there is a lot of, like, we've been separated so much from our initial original culture that the acclimation would be a challenging thing, right? Because, you know, continental Africans are very different culturally than African Americans. And there's a lot there to be learned, and a lot of frustrations even with idiosyncrasies of how we interact and communicate.
Right. No, I would definitely be interested in going over and, you know, seeing all they have to offer, even if it wasn't just to make the decision to live there. I just want to see it. Like, I want to see it and be a part of the culture for a little bit, because one thing I always notice is every time somebody goes to Africa, they always come back with a renewed perspective on things. And it's like, I don't know what they see there, you know what I mean? And not even that it's something traumatic. Maybe it's just the environment. Hell, I felt that way when I went to Atlanta the first time. I was just like, damn, I never seen so many places where it's African Americans predominantly everywhere I go. No matter the hotel I went to or the restaurant we went to, it was just a bunch of black people. And so, you know, you feel a certain kind of way seeing that. So I know that's taking that times 1,000, you know, and seeing just the different infrastructure, the architecture, the way that they build things. And so, yeah, I would definitely be interested. I think that's very intriguing.
You know, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't think I would mind. I don't think I would want to go visit. I think I'm cool over here.
You don't want to go? You not even visit Clark?
I think I'm good, fool. Like,
dang, Clark.
I'm good, man. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I don't even know what it is. It's just I just don't want to go.
So
like, I'm good. Like,
that's interesting, man. Like, I'm not even visit. Like, so if you had the ducats, if money wasn't an issue, you wouldn't want to go visit?
I mean, it'd be on a list. That shit ain't probably top 10.
Dang. So what would you go to? Would you go to a European nation before? You'd go to an African nation?
Go to Paris?
Nah, I don't even know where. I'm trying to go shopping, to be honest with you. So I'm probably going to New York or some shit, somewhere here I ain't never been before.
I'm keeping it domestic.
Yeah, I'm keeping it real. Like, I'm probably go sit in Hawaii for a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I do have a stigma about traveling internationally, though. I do. I want to, you know what I mean? But I am a little worried sometimes. But I do feel like I'm gonna have to at some point in my life. I've never been outside the country before.
Yeah, and see, I don't mind going. It's just I don't know. I'm a little. I done seen too many fucked up movies about going overseas. I don't want to be that guy that goes over there and never comes back.
Oh,
and you hear me on the news.
Be a hostel.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, now you got me tied up to a fucking tree or something like that.
I gotta go to like Amsterdam and shit like that at least once. So Africa, Amsterdam. I wanted to go to like Paris and France and all of that until I saw all the like terroristic attacks there. And I'm like, you know, I'm good. They hit you real big over there. And I don't, no jokes to anybody over there, but it kind of scared me, all the stuff I kept seeing happening over there. But other than that, you know, somewhere tropical, you know, I'm sure there's an island somewhere I'll end up on. But yeah, I would say Africa is definitely on my list.
And then the language barrier would kind of fuck me up too. Like,
well, no, it depends on where you go.
Yeah, I'm just talking about period, traveling, period. Like, not being able to speak the same language. Like, remember that shit that happened to ASAP when he went over and was in jail forever?
I ended up in jail for months just because they didn't,
understand. They understand what he was saying. So it was like, I don't know.
Hell, I damn near felt that way in New York.
So, but English or Miami, really?
Both.
Miami is like a different country for real.
Nobody was speaking English around me in Florida. Nobody.
Okay, well, English though is the primary language in a lot of
speak the same English though. Like the conversation we having, I can't have the same conversation.
Well, that's
like
the same
that.
if you talking to a Jamaican or you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. I could fuck up and say the wrong thing, and damn, I'm in jail for it.
Like
Eight
put you in
fucking
your
months.
mouth.
Yeah, I say the wrong fucking
I'm pulling
thing.
out
So now I know
Google
your
Translate.
fears, Clark. robots in international
Robots
prisons.
in international terminals.
Robots in Africa. My boy ain't fucking with either one.
Oh man, you know what?
courtside
See,
Clark. Yeah.
that's because you're too damn light skinned. That's what that is. That's the.
I don't look like
going
that,
back
man. So yeah, you finna catch me on no bullshit.
Oh man. Okay. So I want to give a few bits of information though, okay, about Ghana, because I think that Ghana is kind of the one that gets talked about a lot. And you know, the whole goal of this initiative though is that to attract African Americans and those in the diaspora back to Ghana, right, so they can see that maybe what they've been shown is not what it actually is. Because he wants them to have a pleasant and wonderful journey home, he says, okay? So they'll want to come back, get involved, see the opportunity that exists in Ghana for us to work together and begin to rebuild what has been stolen and lost over the past 400 years. This is an ambitious thing, okay? All right, so I'm going to spit a couple facts, right? So just especially for you, Clark,
there you go.
and you know, and the Negroes like you that say they don't want nothing to do with Africa. Because I know there's now you're not the only one.
No.
Yeah, okay, and again, you know,
Ain't no reason. I just don't want to go.
I think you just want to be a homebody.
I did see a documentary about Liberia a long time ago that fucked me up real bad. But that's
yeah.
You talking about the young man
Remember
with
that
the
shit we
cigarette
watched?
smoking the
Yeah,
squares?
that
That Civil War was something
Talking
real.
about they had to, like, everybody had to defecate on the beaches and shit like that.
Right.
It was crazy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
It's a different conversation.
So okay, so here's a few facts. All right, about Ghana. It's located along the Gulf of Guinea in the Atlantic Ocean. It's got very beautiful beaches. In fact, one of the popular spots is called Labadi Beach. It's in the sub-region of West Africa. Ghana is a sovereign, multinational state and unitary presidential constitutional democracy. In fact, it's one of the most peaceful nations on the African continent. Okay, most sustainable peace out of any other nation on the continent. English is the official language of Ghana.
Wow.
Okay, but an impressive 40 languages and 70 different dialects are spoken there. All right. The capital city is called Accra. It's actually a very, very beautiful city from an architecture standpoint. And what's cool is that there's a lot of young, black Ghanaians that are our age now that are coming into wealth, that are building, that have struck oil, that are doing real estate projects. And you can study that too as well. And so the currency is called the Ghanaian cedi. Okay, for those of y'all that didn't know that. And the Ghanaian economy has successfully grown by approximately 6% each year. Wow. All right, their main exports are oil, gold, palm oil, sugar, cocoa, butter, cashew, shea nuts, and rubber. So God has obviously blessed the area with a richness of resources there. Ghana's becoming well known for its colleges as well, because it really values and supports education. And the cities along the coast, such as Accra and Sekondi Takoradi, are modern and lively, with Ghanaians adopting westernized dress and eating habits. Okay, so the western coastal cities, beautiful beaches,
It looks amazing.
Yeah, so you probably peek at some of the pictures, right?
Looking at Accra.
Yeah, it's dope, right? You know what I'm saying?
is.
And that's the reason why I think in the year of return, you saw so many videos of people coming back saying, my mind is blown.
Right.
You know, just the idea of being able to be the majority, right? You go around and no one is looking at you strange because you are black. And that, I guess for me personally, that's what intrigues me. And, to be honest, man, I also like to build things. Like, what else is there left to build here? You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's true.
And I guess when I look at it that way, what if a great percentage of the intellectual, black people and well-to-do black people and took the initiative to say, you know what, we're going to go and invest in land. We're going to create infrastructure. We're going to take what we learned from America, okay, in terms of systems and processes. We're going to take that knowledge and go back and then take the money from here, go overseas and build something for our next generations. So that way, if America continues to decline, we're not stuck here, Clark.
Yeah.
That's my thought process of it.
Listen, man, I'm gonna go out there and build the craziest fucking house he's ever seen. And I'm be like, say, bro, it's lit out here. It's lit.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let me know how that shit goes.
Fly here to cry, bro. I got a camel at a huge.
A camel, that's North Africa. So you got it wrong.
I'm going to get a camel, nigga, and I'm finna park that hoe in front of this huge ass house and a cry. Hey, this shit look crazy over here. I wish you could see it. It looks ridiculous. So
yeah.
I ain't never lived nowhere like this.
I'll probably put up the pictures for everybody watching. You know what I'm saying? For those of you that listen to the podcast,
of that. People need to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so okay, listen. So for those of y'all that are coming along with us, put in the comments. Let us know. Would you ever consider going to visit? Would you consider moving, relocating, emigrating to Africa? Why or why not? We want to hear your thoughts. And if you're not black and you're white, if you've ever thought about going to Africa, where have you thought about going? I'm curious to hear your thoughts too as well. But I think the most important thing for black people in America is to keep an open mind about the African continent. It's important that we're not dismissive and afraid to explore other options outside of America. Listen, there is no guarantee that America is going to be the greatest country in the world forever. In fact, no great nation has dominated forever. It's never happened in human history. Okay, it is perfectly conceivable and plausible that America's prosperity, wealth, and comfort will dissipate over time. And when it does, what will you do then? Will you stay on board and sink with the ship, crew, and the captain?
Damn.
Or will you jump ship and ride the wave of new opportunities elsewhere?
That's heavy.
Just sold me a damn trip to Africa. I'm on board now, nigga. Shit.
Yeah, I was just looking at this. I remember I saw something with Kendrick Lamar, and he was talking about Africa, and he was just talking about like outside of money and success and the accolades, that Africa is a place that we in urban communities never dream of. Like we never dream of Africa, but he was like, when he got there, he was like, damn, this is the motherland. And he was like, you feel it as soon as you touch down, and he just kind of spoke to like how Africa broadened his. How do you say, his approach to his art and things like that. And you could tell like when he came back to Pimp a Butterfly, Damn, those albums, they're completely different versions of him, and you can tell like he was enlightened by something. So I think that kind of woke me up to it too, because as an artist, to hear somebody's music for so long and to get an understanding of them, and then they go to Africa one time and come back and they're completely different artists, still dope, but his content is different. His approach to how he records is different. So
Nip, the same thing with Nip.
Same thing with Nip. You know what I'm saying?
He went back to his father's homeland, to Eritrea.
And look at how enlightened he was, even as a gangbanger, even as a young man growing up in South Central that was involved in so much other shit. He was still so enlightened. Him and his brother. You could just tell they thought on a different plane than everybody else. So those kind of things that would kind of push me to be like, man, maybe it is something over there for me to go see, and maybe I'm missing out on it, even if it's not me going over there realizing where I'm from, rubbing the dirt across my forehead, and licking the air to see. I ain't on no Black Panther shit. I'm not trying to get into that, but I want to see what it is for a bit, because I've been here so long, and I feel like I've conformed to this society and the way that they've kind of brainwashed me to be. I would love to go somewhere else and like see other people's perspective of life and how it's presented to them. So,
and if you want to fund a trip for AllOva Radio to go to Africa, go ahead and send us an email at allovaradio@gmail.com.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna take.
We will broadcast live from any place you send us. Okay, and if the Minister of Tourism from Ghana is listening to this as well, then you can give us a free trip, and we will come and report on what we saw.
And shout out to my guy Kelly Hansen, man. Definitely a guy from Africa, Nigeria, I believe specifically. If I'm getting it wrong, Kelly, I'm sorry, but he is a star over there. Like completely, my man gets it done, and he speaks to a lot of the causes. He actually just put out his own cologne and some other shit.
Oh wow!
Shout out to him. Yeah. He's making moves. So without further ado, everybody, when you get a chance, join the conversation, share, comment, start a watch party. If you don't know how, go back to the video where Loudmouth told you how to do it. But yeah, let's get into the community impact report, because it is time.
You need to get up, get out, and get something. Cause you and I got to do for you and I.
It's all over.
Yeah, it is time to talk about community issues within the Black family. All right. So I want to talk about a recent story that we probably saw And it kind of raised the question around parenting and disciplining your children. Did you guys see the story about Lauryn Hill and her daughter Selah?
I'm surprised I missed this.
Okay, so there was a recent national story about Lauryn Hill and his daughter. Her daughter, should I say, I apologize, the daughter of Lauryn Hill and Rohan Marley.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, she's been out of the national spotlight for a long time from an entertainment perspective, so you may have forgot. But it unearthed the controversial topic around parenting techniques among black people. Okay? And so the question that I want to ask, is there a difference in the way that black parents raise their children, and what are those differences? And before we address that, I want to kind of read what the controversy was. And so Selah, their daughter, came out essentially and through I think it was like her YouTube or it was an Instagram live that she was a live she had, and she was talking about her mom, like getting her ass, like whooping her ass, and how it caused a lot of trauma, for her. And she was just kind of like, it was a very cathartic release. She's like 21 years old now. She was talking about, a lot of different things. And she brought up that, her mama would tell her to go get the belt. It was like almost like it was like a death sentence. Like she felt like it was like impending doom. And her mom came down hard on her a lot. And got in that ass, man. And so she was talking about the trauma that it caused for her and how she's kind of healing through some of those things, right? And it caused a huge backlash, and it caused Lauryn Hill to respond to this. And it was pretty much a very interesting response that she had to say for being ridiculed for spanking her children in this way. And what she said was, if I am guilty of anything, it is disciplining in anger, not in disciplining. The toxic venom that I ingested for standing on principle and confronting systemic racism far before it was a thing to say or do, okay? Everything you now celebrate everyone for, okay? The people who called me crazy and have yet to apologize and say, oh yeah, we were wrong, of course, that seeped into my house. It was intended to. An entire operation trying to break an artist with a voice and knowledge of herself, way ahead of her time, was in motion. I was affected, my family was affected, my children were affected. When I heard that, I was like, wow, like, man, you could tell that she was really hurt, a lot of pain, by what she was saying is like, listen, yeah, if I'm guilty of anything, it was frustration, anger from what I was dealing with in the world. And so, the question that I have is, do we feel like some of the trauma that black people experience seeps into the way that we parent, or the way that our parents and grandparents even parented?
First of all, my whole thought on that is, miss me with all that. You got your ass whooped. I got my ass whooped too. My mama made me go get the belt. My daddy made me go get the belt too. So I knew I was going to take that L. I done got whooped coming out the shower, ass naked. I done got whooped in my tidy whities. Like I'm not fucked up. I'm not going through no trauma. I'm 35 years old right now. That's what I'm saying. Woke up with a belt on my ass. I got whooped with a switch.
Took a wooden broom to the head.
That's what I'm saying. And then at a certain age, the belt went down and we started fighting. And it was like, oh shit, no more ass whoopings. Right. It's real ass whoopings now. So I don't feel no certain type of way about this.
Okay, so in her defense, she said, her quote was, "It's crazy. I'm playing this trauma back in my head as I speak to you." Okay. She'd be like, "Go get the belt. That's how you know you're in trouble." Mm-hmm. It's like walking to your death. My mom is an amazing woman, but she obviously didn't do everything right. Okay. All right. So she said, Marley said that, adding that the physical punishment of her was some slavery shit. That's what she said. Now she, after people started like attacking her mom, okay, she came back around. All right, and this is what she said. She said, "Why do you all take the worst part of my video?" Yeah. Like, really. Can I ask you all a question? Did you guys actually understand that I was coming from a place of healing? So she came back and said, I love my mom and my dad. Yeah. Okay? I was just talking about my life. No different than we talking about, like I talked about, on episode 7, like my dad whooped my ass. But I deserved it most of the time because I was a hellion.
But I didn't feel like it was some slavery shit. I didn't pick my own switches. I didn't, come on, lady. Like, now, I'm not an advocate for abuse of children in any shape, form, or fashion, right? So I guess in my mind, what I'm thinking of is like my definition of being chastised may be different because of the actions of myself. So I know what I was into as a kid. I know, you know, I deserved it 90% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that I did. Now, who's to say, because what I'm taking from Lauryn Hill's quote is that maybe if she is disciplining in anger, I just don't understand how what the world is doing, seeping into your home, how is that taken out on your children? Like, there's no justification for it, depending on if the only reason why you were disciplining them the way you were was because of the way the world was treating you. I don't think that that's fair. I feel like I feel like that's wrong. Now, I do feel like just like it says in the Bible, you spare the rod, you spoil the child. I do understand that to a certain extent. And I do understand that sometimes kids get out of control, and there are methods of disciplining that you can take for each individual child, that every family is different. I'm not here to say what's wrong or right. I do think there's limitations with how you, if you're going to spank your child, I do think there's a limitation on what you do. Like, I don't feel like any child, and this is me, I can open the box on y'all. Like, this is my earliest memories of my father was him being overly abusive. Like, I don't know how many times people got a whooping until their nose bled, but I was one of them kids. And this is like me in the 2nd and 3rd grade. You see what I'm saying? And I was getting beat by my father, not because I was just so bad. Like, I understood my mother's whoopings. But like, he would come pick me up from school in like the 2nd grade, and like, they'd be like, oh, he was kind of talkative in class today. You know, normal shit. And I would get my ass beat for it. You know what I'm saying? To the point where my grandma, this is me letting y'all in, she lived not too far from my school. So I would leave. She used to tell me, I used to tell her what happened. She'd be like, just leave school right away. Don't wait for him to pick you up. And so school would get out, bro. I would hustle my ass home because I knew that I was safe there. That was my safe zone. But the trauma from his abuse, mind you, he's just whooping my ass like parents whoop your ass. But the trauma from that was like, damn, I don't even want to deal with this person no more. So I understand there's levels of it, and maybe she's experiencing it on that level.
Because that sounds like that's too much, though.
You see what I'm saying? That's over the top. So if she's getting that type of treatment, then I do empathize with her, because I know as a kid how that made me feel. I was terrified when school was about to be out. Like, I got to get the hell out of here. And this is me at 6 or 7. So I can imagine a lifetime of that with your mother. You know, it's like, what is it, Mommy Dearest or whatever the movie is? What is the movie called with the crazy lady and, you know, the young daughter, and she's just overly abusive and she treats her a certain kind of way, and, you know, it kind of affects her growing up. So, I definitely think there's limitations to how you have to go about that, man, because it can have lasting effects.
Ass whoopers for no reason. I don't condone that shit, like you say. But, I mean, but if you, because, you know, just like me, I see kids out that need that ass whooping.
Man, sometimes you got to be brought back
to I mean, I'll take that. But just whooping and going above and beyond, I mean, once you get your point across, like, okay, cool. Like, I mean, it's been a couple of times I had to pop my daughter on the butt. Hey, stop doing that. She stopped doing it. No more reason for her to continue to pop. Done. Go play.
There's a lot to unpack here, you know. Man. So, y'all, of course, join the conversation with us as we discuss. Let us know your thoughts. So the question I have, what are the major differences, do you think, in the way that black parents discipline their children as opposed to white parents or other ethnicities? Is there a difference? Do you see those differences, and what are they?
I believe so. I think it's a big difference. Like you say, with just the punishment involved and that part of it, some of us still get spankings. Some kids I still see get spankings. Even growing up, I see that all the black kids would get, even the Spanish kids, my Spanish homies would get spankings, but the white kids, they wouldn't get no spankings. They would just go to the corner, get in timeout. But those were the houses we would go over to. Their parents were more lenient than the black parents. We would go over there to have fun, stay up all night playing Super Nintendo and Sega and all that. So it's a big difference. I think the African American parents are a lot stricter, but they still like to have fun. They embrace you and love you a lot more than the white parents do. I could be that from what I've seen. I don't want to put that on every white parent. So. Just what I've seen is it's a big difference to me.
Yeah, there is a big difference. I mean, I see a huge difference. Again, you know, I've said it numerous times that I grew up around a lot of white people, and I was hella confused. Okay, because the way that my parents ran things was not the way. The stuff that I saw my white friends get away with, I would have had my throat slit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like there's no way, like, call your mom a bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no.
Yeah, baby, I need you to do this. nah, F you, Ma, I'm not doing shit. Like,
Yep.
I saw that, man. Like, I
that's what
saw
I'm saying.
kids do and say things like that, and it was crazy to me. And it was like,
You wouldn't dare raise your voice at
oh,
your mama.
no. I mean,
At all.
I was like stiff in fear listening to
Yeah.
it. No, Dad, screw you.
Yeah,
I'm not doing
that's what I'm saying.
that. Son, don't talk to me that way. Like, like, it's weird, man. There is a very big difference. I think also, too, like, I had, like you mentioned, like, Latinos, you know what I'm saying, that are friends. And, like, the running joke on the internet is, like, get the chakla, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you see, like, you know what I'm saying, on TikTok, too, the chakla, the sandal, like, Hispanic mom got that chakla, you know what I'm saying? She gonna get your ass with that sandal, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Hispanics resonate with that. Even I had Asian friends, I had Korean friends, bro. They parents are getting their ass. You know, so there is, it's interesting to see there is like a very different way that black parents parent, other ethnicities parent their children, and the way that, white Americans parent their children.
Yeah.
It seems to be a lot less discipline involved in it, a lot more leeway, and what I'm saying, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for, but leniency that they have around it. But I thought that was interesting, man, just when I read this story. In terms of how black parents now raise their kids, do you find that you spank your kids less than you were spanked?
Oh,
Oh, hell yeah.
That's interesting, right? Like, I don't feel the need. I feel like I threaten the whooping more than I actually whoop my kids. Like, I thought that I was gonna have to spank them a lot, but so was it that we were bad, super bad, and our kids are just not as bad as we were, or do you think that there's some legitimacy in, because of the way our parents were raised in previous generations, that there are some remnants from slavery and trauma in the way that discipline is kind of exacted out? Do you think that's legitimate?
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel like even with absentee fathers, I think that whole, and I talked about this before, I think that generation of fathers, my father's generation, their fathers were so used to working and not being there. Like, that's the most common story I've heard about that generation is about how hard they worked and how they hardly ever seen them. And so that in turn translated to them being absentee fathers, for one. But I do think that it matters, and I think that, I don't feel like I have to spank. I feel like that's a last resort for me. Yeah. So, I think it's different now because I know what was effective for me, and if I could have had somebody to talk to me as opposed to spanking me, I probably would have had a different perspective on things. So I try to take that approach before I have to put my hands on you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
my dad tried. He tried to talk to me. It didn't work.
Yeah, oh hell no. See, that's why I got spanked.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I was just bad as shit. So. And then my sister, like, we was a tag team in that motherfucker, so we both was bad. And so.
Yeah, I think this is great. Like, I love these kind of cultural conversations around parenting. I think at the end of the day, man, being a parent isn't easy either way, no matter what generation, no matter what ethnicity, no matter where you're from and raised. It's challenging work, man.
Best shit in the world, though.
Yeah, it is. It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's super gratifying. And, the main thing is to cultivate an environment in our households of love, accountability, integrity, peace, truthfulness, and forgiveness. These are the precepts that we should be building our households around. And each child is different, and you'll need to make adjustments based on the uniqueness of that child. The main goal for us as parents, though, is to teach our children in the way they should go. Yeah. So when they grow old, they won't depart. And if you don't have the right understanding, then seek wisdom and knowledge from teachers and books and counseling and solid parents in your network. Because the best way to raise children is in a loving, supportive community. And as they say, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah, on the village.
Yeah, on the that's on V's. That's on V's. Shout out to the bully.
Oh man, dope show though. Make sure y'all please join this conversation and let us know how y'all feel. I know y'all out there spanking the hell out of them kids because they ain't home with y'all. Take it easy on them,
Or not
okay?
spanking them kids. I was in the store and y'all just letting them kids run around.
Give them a break, man. They ain't used to homeschooling.
Yeah,
either, okay?
discipline these children, please.
Right.
Please discipline them. Don't let them rough run shot around you. But don't go overboard either. Right? It's called balance and love, man. But thank y'all so much for watching AllOva Radio. We want to thank you again to Black Market.
Shout out to the homie.
Yes, indeed. Check out these Cali Love for our fans out on the coast. Go check out that blackmarket.com. You'll see it there. For those that are listening to the podcast, I'm going to pull the website again. I think it's the market the THAMRKT.com /store, the market .com /store. And you see we got the red joint up here. Caution, show yours to the people,
Listen,
man.
You know,
you see the Cali Love joint. We got the white one. I got the one. They hooked me up with the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Colors, y'all know how I rock already. Unapologetic about that nation. And thank you again for watching. Tune in to us on Facebook Wednesdays every single week at 7 p.m. Central, right? 5 p.m. Pacific. Thank y'all for those that are watching with us right now. Episode 9. Follow us on social media on all platforms. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. On YouTube, it's All Over Media. That's right. It's All Over Media. On our social platforms, it's All Over Radio. Don't be silent. Let your voice be heard.
Yes.
Join the conversation.
Please.
We want to hear from you. This is All Over Radio.
Hey, yo.
I'm your boy Loudmouth, B. Clark.
B. Clark.
Caution 700.
Yes, sir.
We all finished or y'all done?
We out.